Hello, students. Kennesaw State University offers a undergraduate research experience or the first year scholars program, and I'll participate in that one. And what I want to do in that brief video is just to introduce my project. So the project title is Developing an Interactive Data Platform for Food Insecurity Analysis. So what is that project about? So if you take a look at food insecurity, more than 1 billion people don't have regularly access to food or go occasionally hungry. And there is lots of data available, but there is no unifying data platform readily available anywhere that collects and curates data from various sources and makes them easily accessible to a wider audience. So this is roughly what I have in mind. So that is like the development of a platform, an interactive website that allows for data analysis, comparisons across countries or regions, across the various indicators of food insecurity. The website will then display static content like definitions, what is food insecurity, maybe a case study, maybe a video with an expert, but also interactive tools like world maps, comparative trend lines, scatter plots, or even policy simulations. So this is a project that offers students hands-on interdisciplinary training in data curation and econometric modeling and web development. There's also a potential for external relationships, mainly with partnerships with organizations like the Food and Agriculture Organization or the World Food Programme. And maybe there's also a way to get something published. So if you are a student, what can you expect? Well, you can expect to be mentored, especially in data analysis and economics and web development. And core tasks will involve like data set building, data harmonization analysis, web-based development, simulation coding, maybe a case studies. There's also lots of room for creative inquiry because there is really no platform yet where you would find all those various tools and applications on one website. There is a scholarly contribution because the platform also generates novel counterfactual estimates, like what is the impact of food insecurity on people's incomes, maybe child mortality, human capital, but there are many others that one can think about. And there's definitely real-world impact associated with it, especially when the platform, once it is finished, will be made available to policymakers, journalists, and other stakeholders in humanitarian assistance work. So what you will learn, again, you will learn a lot about data and how to work with data wrangling. You will learn a lot about econometric modeling and data analysis, especially panel data analysis. You will learn about web development. And when it comes to coding, artificial intelligence becomes increasingly important and makes many things much easier. So you will also get exposed to that one. There is a collaboration and communication element. So you as the student, you have to regularly present your progress, maybe in a group, and learn how to communicate technical results into something which is a little bit easier to understand for non-experts. There's also some room for creative problem solving and resilience, because working with real-world data teaches you adaptability and persistence in the face of ambiguity, inconsistency, and unexpected challenges. So there's definitely a lot to learn, which the classroom alone can not provide. So the project runs over the fall and the spring semester. So a rough outline is like that. In the fall, we mostly work on the data acquisition, data cleaning, harmonization, maybe do some explorative data analysis. Then when it comes to the website, we have to think about the content, the design, the user interface, and we will make sure that we have weekly meetings where we can discuss our findings. And then by the end of the fall semester, we should have at least a clean, harmonized data set, a basic idea of the website, and a solid understanding of the policy questions driving the project. Then in the spring, we continue with the econometric modeling. Then a big part will be simulating the economic burden of food insecurity. We should work on that one. Then we have to code the interactive data visualizations. We have to think about how to disseminate our research, maybe do some outreach with stakeholders. Maybe we can contact some international development agencies. And then, of course, we need to present the final website somewhere. And in sum, you will get exposed to a full research life cycle from conceptualization to a deliverable. So what should you bring? Well, ideally, you have a strong interest and maybe already some experience in coding, data analysis, and economics. And you definitely should have a strong interest in wanting to learn Excel, statistical and econometric analyses, and web development like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We definitely will meet on a regular basis, maybe every week for 2 to 3 hours, and the exact date and time still has to be determined. But it could be that we have to meet after 5 p.m. because this is when most computer labs are available. There will be also a lot of asynchronous work. I will make available code snippets and data sets and walkthrough videos, so for you to work and practice a little bit independently. So what may the final project look like? Well, I don't know, but I can show you a little bit what I did earlier. So here you see a website on which I worked with students in another place. And you see you have your interactive elements like a world map, and then you can click on various indicators, and then you can see which countries perform well. You can also do that across different times. Then you can also compare countries. Let's say if you have a specific interest and you want to compare, let's say, I don't know, Indonesia to Lebanon across certain indicators, you can see green means good, red is bad. That would be another comparative economic element, and we can see it as a table or as a line chart. Then what else can we do? Well, I mentioned policy simulations. So let's say we have here an indicator, we choose a country. Let's say here's Guatemala. And then you can see where Guatemala is doing really well and where it's doing not so well. And then the policy simulation implies if we improve things, for example, how much richer could a country be? So that is just, a brief overview of what to expect. But again, we will only focus on food insecurity because the wealth of nation lies in specialization. So I hope you found that interesting, and I hope you show interest in that project. That would be great. All right, so that's it. Thanks a lot, and I hope to see you in the project.